The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Baytown, bro. Where I from Baytown, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that coming after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. Way I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Baytown, bro.
Good night, Bahamas, and welcome to another edition of Inside the Inner City that premieres on Guardian Radio every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. except holidays. Telephone numbers tonight are 323-6232, 325-4316, and 325-4259, and you can text us, powered by BTC, at 422-GR96, and you're also listening on Cable Bahamas. I'm your host, Valentino Brown, a.k.a. Scrooge, MP, Governor. So many different nicknames are being given over the years from so many different people because of the efforts I put into doing my best to help develop the country. Yes, I'm the host of Inside the Inner City. Like I said, premieres every Friday. And it's my pleasure to talk about the topics that most people would not discuss, but needs to be discussed in order for us to see the mistakes we're making, criticize ourselves, also correct ourselves. Sometimes we are at fault, but we hide it, and sometimes, it's been going on for a long, long time, and a lot of things are coming to light now in the country. So this is a good thing, and probably best for us to try and see the mistakes that we're making and try to correct them best as possible so that we could have a prosperous and country that deals with integrity. And then we might see the blessings of the Father. Today's topic, we're going to continue the conversation from last week Friday when we're talking about the $5 billion that were actually made of the tourism visiting the Bahamas. We have 700 islands, 700 keys, and we had record-breaking numbers of tourists visit our shores. 2023, we topped the 7.7. I think it's in 2012 or 2011. If I'm correct, excuse me, I might be correct within the year. But anyway, we topped that, and we went 9.7 million visitors. And it's estimated, listening to the Deputy Prime Minister, some $5 billion. And I wanted to discuss that. And also I'd like to comment on a caller who made a great comment when he talked about safety. And he also talked about why only in Grandstand. I didn't get to really finish explain the whole scenario of the plan that I was a part of. I was a main character in it, but a lot of people played a very important role in this plan that is supposed to be beneficial to those living in the Mason Addition area, those living in Baytown, those living in Grandstand, those who are in close proximity of Bay Street, those corridors that leads to over the hill or into Mason Addition from the 66 steps, and they have many other different steps that leads into Mason Addition. And also you have Baytown, which is approximately walking distance. But anyway, there are a lot of corridors in that vicinity, and I would like to discuss that as well and how the tourism industry could be very beneficial to many persons in this country who are looking for work, looking for employment, looking for a trade, looking for some type of idea that can actually come to tuition. But there's a lot of people who just want an opportunity. They just can't find no work. Some have records, some just give up because they've been looking for work for so long. But what it is to have a booming economy that brings in $5+ billion, okay? Record-breaking visitors, which I call customers. And we have various different attractions. Now, we need way more attractions over the hill, like how we had back in the 70s and 80s. And I'm going to discuss that as I go on. But, like I said, you have water ski, you have the water sports, you have swimming, you have tours, you have the tourists just like to do so much different sorts of adventure, going to the forts, coming in the neighborhood, stopping to a little small stall or getting a haircut or getting a hair braid. They like those type of experience, walking on the 66 steps, even going to church. Sometimes these guys have never set foot in a church in their whole entire lives. And all this is how we can create revenue in the community. Coconut guys who have coconut vendors could be properly trained, get their business license, and all of that. But we're going to discuss this as the show goes on. So, Deputy Prime Minister talked about the $5+ billion that was generated from the arrival of tourists that came to the Bahamas in 2023. Air travel, sea travel, and some came on their boats and et cetera, because, guests, sometimes have their own luxury yachts, and sometimes they have smaller yachts or sports boat, and they travel from America, Florida, hitting Abaco, hitting Bimini, and these places like that, Spanish Wells and places like that, because they normally travel by boat a lot, but a lot travel by air arrival as well. So the numbers was up in that. But yet still, we see here where, this was in The Guardian a few weeks ago, where Straw Vendors Society saying where are the tourists, and they were complaining. Now the straw vendors are not seeing the cruise ship passengers come into Nassau Straw Market, despite seeing them downtown, according to Rebecca Small, president of the Straw Business Poison Society. I got a little annoyed when I heard Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper saying how we have 30,000 tourists coming in, and Bahamians need to open up downtown small business, Guardian business, yesterday. I'm thinking that we are right here on the straw market and wondering where are these tours going. It is reported that up to 30,000 cruise passengers arrived in Nassau on 6 cruise ships at Nassau Cruise Port the past Sunday. Speaking in regards to Royal Caribbean, Utopia of the Seas cruise ship that made an historic stop to Nassau Cruise Port Sunday. Small said, you only see the ships there, but you don't feel it in your pocket. Yeah. So, this is the question to be asked. I'm not saying that everyone can benefit from the tourism industry. I'm not saying everyone can own a small business, right? But I know one thing. It makes sense to think about this. We have high unemployment in this country, the Bahamas, right? Right. High unemployment. When we have how many visitors coming to our shores, and we call them customers, because they have to be customers, because the Deputy Prime Minister state that we earned about $5 billion. So that means when they came in, they stopped at many of the downtown stores, okay? And they spent under $2,000. And many still stayed on the cruise ship because, there was nothing attractive for them to come off the cruise ship. And, we lose a lot of money as well. But that same money right there, if we could find a way on how we can get those tourists to come over the hill and also be in a safe environment and also have an environment that is developed, that has the capacity, also with the security, also with the tourist attractions in that community. And when I'm saying things like that, I'm saying that when the caller called last week, they made a great point, when they said about safety. So let me just hit safety at first. For me as a young man, I grew up in the community. And when I was a young kid, the Francis Hotel was there. That's where Ebola Francis came from. Carlton Francis is their family. You had Diana Francis, she works a part of the Urban Node Board. She's also a senior pastor in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That was the Francis Hotel. And I can always remember in Grandstand, you had a lot of guest houses, which you call an A, B, and B. You also had a lot of theaters. We had the Capitol Theater. We had the one on the end of the corner of Lewis Street as well. Besides that, we had a lot of small businesses situated on Market Street, East Street, and Blue Hill Road. Okay? Many small businesses. Many bakeries. We had a lot of barber shops. We had a lot of pastry shops. We had a lot of chicken shacks. We had fishermen selling fish. Guys who were selling their coconut and stuff like that were selling on the side of the road, nice and neat, clean and cleanliness. So it was a very fun time for Bahamians who were involved in the tourism industry back in the days. But basically, you had hundreds of small businesses that were prospering from the tourism industry. Many people say that's in the past, and you can't say what they say now. Say you can't go back to the past. The past is gone. But we in this time now where the past itself was very beneficial. It's just that we stray away from our past, our culture, boiled fish and Johnny cake, fried fish and etc. A lot of fruits and mangoes and etc. We kind of changed and recreated our concrete jungle. And in doing so, we kind of lost our way. And we lost our way is by not understanding that we have an island that people who are what we call living in America, living in Canada, living in Russia, living in France, they want to come to the Bahamas to experience the beautiful country that we live in. And they want to come here to spend sand dollar. They want to come here to spend their Visa cards. They want to come here to spend American dollars here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And there's no way we should be in the position where we're in now with unemployment when we have over 9 million visitors coming to our shores who are actually customers. Now, if you have 9 million visitors come to your shores, you're trying to tell me a population under 250,000 or 500,000 people, right? Don't even make a honest living of the 9 million visitors that comes to our shore, and we're right there in Grandstand, which is only 200 steps I need to take from where I live on Lewis Street to get to Bay Street. It's a whole completely different world for me walking over the hill, either Blue Hill Road, Market Street, or East Street. And walking over is only like 200 steps to Bay Street. And when you go down there, you would see thousands of guests stopping at so many different businesses in the country. On Bay Street. And the only money that comes over the hill, out of that $5 billion that were gathered up from the various businesses, the American money that came over the hill, out of that, it's the workers. It's the taxi drivers who interact, and I want people to know that a taxi driver with this volume of guests who are customers coming to our shore can make a good salary, a good salary income up to $60,000 to $70,000 in the country. Okay, let me ask the vice president over there to go to Bahamas House and Go there, invest in a nice little taxi. Teach yourself how to be disciplined, honest. Don't overcharge the tourists. Make sure it's professional, that you don't get sexual, on the job. You understand? Because you're on the job to make a living. You're not on the job to fascinate and fantasize with your customers. They're customers. Now, if you're going to get intimate with a female or whatever the situation is, you do it on your own time, but not while you're working. Always be respectful as a servant to the customer that you're going to be serving while they're in National Providence, so that they could go back and talk about the hospitality that they received when they came to the Bahamas, because this could build. So yes, taxi drivers in National Providence can actually make $60,000 to $70,000 a year right now with the volume of tourists coming to our shores right now. So that's a good business to go into. You understand? Just train yourself. That's the next business. Okay. Yeah. So the scroll vendors society say they're not seeing the tourists. So that means tourists are have attractions at the port. So I guess that in the port, they have a lot of restaurant or junkanoo, and the tourist just comes off the cruise ship and just spends their money in the plaza. And the scroll vendors, who only seeing the cruise ships and cruise passengers, they're not benefiting because the guests are staying in the port. But also, I think that many of the scroll vendors, they have the same merchandise. I think that you got to be more creative. I think that they need to be spaced out on Bay Street as well. I think too much people in the scroll market in the first place, because they're taking turns on who can work in order for everyone to make a living. But that don't make no sense, because you get 9 million visitors coming in a year time. The scroll vendors themselves, I don't know how many are in the scroll market, and they have to take turns opening their shops in order to subsidize and to make sure that everyone can eat. Something's wrong there. I think that needs to be looked into. That should be very disturbing to the Minister of Tourism, who's the Deputy Prime Minister. I know there's not much space on Bay Street, but some things can be created where we could space out the scroll vendors, some of the different plazas, and make sure that they're also creative. Because, the tourists that probably seeing their merchandise, already seeing these same merchandise when they go to other places in the world, probably when they go to China. So we have to be more authentic, be aiming so that's why we need to have the art and craft schools in the primary schools and the junior high schools. We need to make that part of a curriculum, because like I said, we have 9 million visitors visit our shores in 2023. The government of the Bahamas saying they're looking to break that, but yet still it's not very beneficial to us. So let me show you how a few American dollars comes over there, out of that $5 billion, which is nothing, not even 1%. Okay? When the taxi drivers, them, go and they interact with the tourists and they get tipped. They get tipped U.S. currency. They would store that money up, right? And when they come over the hill, they'd stop to a store and they'd spend something in the store. And when they go home, they give their girlfriend or give their wife some of the American money, or give the kids something, you know what I mean? So that's how the American money is get over there. Then you have people who work in the scroll market who interact with tourists, and the tourists only have American money. They get that, and when they go in their home or their area that they live in Mason, they live in Fox, they'd go get that money what they make from downtown, and they'd go and they'd spend it in a convenience store, or spend to Kentucky, or spend to one chicken shack place in their community. So out of that $5 billion that the government of the Bahamas is talking about, yet still we are not even benefiting 1%. Do I believe that the tourism industry can change the dynamics of the country. Of course it can, because now you could give those who are graduating from school an opportunity to go in a field where they have customers. In order for you to have a successful business, you need customers. You understand? Miss Elaine Pender owned Bamboo Shop. Why is she successful? Because she have customers. Kentucky, why they're successful? Because they have customers. They have a volume of customers. Their food is not going to spoil. You understand? Same thing, Miss Elaine Pender from Bamboo Shop. They have customers. Okay, they have a volume of customers who come in from all around Nassau to all those different locations of Bamboo Shop, all those Kentucky Fried Chicken, all those McDonald's. That's why you all see cars park up on the lines. You understand? You get customers. So when you get customers, and your product is good, okay, you would have revenue, and that's income. And if we establish something like that, so the caller also said, when I was talking, he said that, you're only talking about grandstand. No, 20, that's a buck. Anything I talk about is what I do for the country. There's a book called the Nassau Urban Lab, Central Nassau Urban Regeneration Plan, prepared for the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas by the University of Vienna, the University of the Bahamas, myself, Valentino Brown, as the community leader in Grandstand, the office of the Prime Minister, then Prime Minister Perry Gladstone Christie. The person who was in charge of this final report of the Nassau Urban Lab was Miss, okay, get it right, y'all. Sorry, my bad. Miss Nicola Virgil Road. She was the PhD Director of Economics, Development and Planning at the Office of the Prime Minister of the Bahamas. And here's the thing. The Bahamas is creating a National Development Plan, NDP Vision 2040, a new national vision for sustainable development in the country. The NDP is structured around 4 pillars: economy, governance, human capital, and the environment, built and natural. The proposal, elaborated by the National Urban Design Lab, feed into the NDP as a pilot transversal project for urban redevelopment, not only for New Providence, but for all islands of the Bahamas. Working hand in hand, the IDB, the government of the Bahamas, and its partners envision a more vibrant, inclusive, and resilient place to live and work for Bahamians, both in Nassau and throughout the Family Islands. Both of these projects offer space for citizens to participate, engage, be heard, and to take ownership of the progress. And in case of the Engaging and Sustainable Cities Program, ESC, this is done through the Urban Design Lab. Now, let me tell people this. This is the grand way to tie in Bay Street in the Rosedale community of Mason Addition, Grandstand, Baintown, Fort Charlotte, and any community that is close proximity to Bay Street, also on the Family Island. This plan was put together by the Office of the Prime Minister and the IDB Bank. Here's how to get started. I was invited to be a consultant, a free consultant, around this time, and they were asking me questions about crime, poverty, and I also was able to give them a solution. So I had a sit-down interview with persons like, you gotta have your proof. You see? This is the book. lead specialist of the Urban Development, Economics, and Regional Coordination, Emergency and Sustainable Cities Program, and Housing and Urban Development, Climate and Change Department is Mr. Gilberto Chana. All right? And he was working with the IDB Bank. So personally for me, I had an opportunity to sit down with people who gives the most money to the Bahamas government. Okay? And that's where local government came over it as well. So this was a national plan. And this is done by myself first sitting down with these persons from IDB Bank. Yes? Even before the Commonwealth of the Bahamas government knew about it. So anyway, I was invited and they wanted to know about the violent crimes. And I told them the situation. North go deep. I say poverty. I said the family structure has been destroyed from the drug epidemic. As a result, it brought a lot of unwanted child, neglect children, brought a lot of abuse. Without the father and mother, they had to guide and nurture the children back in the early 80s and 90s because they were on drugs. It kind of destabilized the Bahamas economy. And as a result, our communities became ghettos where we had a lot of violence, rape, disease, poverty, when we were one of the most beautiful places in the world. And they sit down, they listen, and they start to write. Now, listen to me, I'm the only one speaking to these people, okay? They requested me. And I tell them my story, I tell them many other stories, and they start to ask questions. They ask me, say, what can we do to make a difference with the poverty? Well, I said that when I was a little boy, I can remember the tourists used to come over the hill. And I told them that the Francis Hotel, the guest houses, and we had like over 1 million visitors that used to come over the hill to the theaters, to the convenience stores, and many Bahamians had a good income because there was no reason to steal. There was no reason to break into one house because you could make a good living out of the tourist product. Whether you're selling coconut, whether you're selling fish, whether you're diving quarters, whether you're a walking tour, taxi driver, there were ways to create monies based on the guests coming to our country. And they asked me more questions. So they asked me, say, what happened? Why everything stopped? So I said, when crack cocaine came in, it changed the mindset of the citizens of the country. And it made them violent. And then our Bahamas government, they banned the tourists from coming over the hill. So now that stopped the hustling. Not the hustling, it stopped the work, and the Bahamians took a different turn. We started to prey on one another. We started breaking one another's house. We started to starve one another. We started to kill one another. We were abusive to females. We became un-Bahamian. And I said, as a result, that's where I came from, And, this is just my first interview with them. And they just started pouring. And the people started to come with their eyes, And they say, what do you think we can do to make a difference? I said that if we can find a way on how we can get the tourists to come back over the hill in a safe environment with an area developed and equipped to handle them with the various tourist attractions, stop to like the church, my restaurant. We have various people who are trained in small businesses, hair braiding. They could be good in nail technician. They could be good in barbering. They could be good on souvenirs, and we set up around the community where we get the Small Business Association to sponsor them $5,000 to $10,000 in that particular community so that they can set up their shop once they graduate from the community center that is already being built. That's why Lenahan was built, to make sure that we could educate them and train them so that they can have the proper training in money management. They know how to deal with customers when they come in the community. You understand? Know how to speak to them. So that's why the community center was built. But the overall prospect is to have a different look in the community where we have the attractions to allow the tourists to come over there till around about 5 o'clock, 5, 6, before the ships go back in. If we could have access to them till 5 o'clock. And what we set up to do, we'd have a safe zone in those particular corners with community persons who can do their training, right? And they have their small business license. And we have them set up their businesses throughout that particular zone. And in there, we would allow the taxi drivers to come in and let the tourists stop to various different locations. Like, for instance, we'd have the girls, them on the porch, 4 or 5 girls. We're working on this now, and they'd be braiding here along with a barber. So we'd have that spot on Mr. Punza porch, that'd be their braiding section. The barber would be right on the side of them. The guy who sat in the coconut water and gin, the guy who sat in the grilled pork and chicken, he'd be down by Uri, set up on Uri. Also, we would have the guys who doing a little coconut water and stuff like that set up on the side of the stall, on the side of the beauty bakery wall with a nice structure. And everything is going to be professional and make sure that we leave no trash. Garbage bin is going to be put there, and we're going to have a cleanup guy come afterwards on a regular basis. Within the day, he'll be around to make sure that no trash is left. Anything that needs to be removed will be removed in a timely fashion. So those are the kind of stuff I talked about to them. And they started to ask me, and then I give them an example. I took them by the fort, and they look. I said, y'all are guests now. And I'm taking around about 60 of them, me one. And let me tell you the story. I got to take them because they came here on behalf of the Bahamas government in 2013. The work was finished in 2016. And it was presented by it was presented at the National Art Gallery. And I was given the first book, the Urban Design Lab. So anyway, they were in the office of the Prime Minister. They had police presence, and they wanted to get in inner city communities to do the research. But at the time, crime was very high in these particular communities, and the police was not chancing that. And there were persons in there who saying that, if you go in these areas, you'd get robbed and you'd get killed, and etc. And then someone was in the office of the Prime Minister. They said, no, so. I know a gentleman, Valentino Brown, they call him Scoochie, but they call him Scrooge. He does community work. He brings guests in from all around the world in his community, and they're always welcome. In fact, you could walk around there freely because everyone's going to say the guest comes to Scroogey because over my tenure of bringing in partners to come help develop the community, I brought in many people from different walks of life, from France, from Germany, even from Russia, the U.S., charged with the fair, many other persons who are important people around the world have had in the community over the years, and they talked to so many different people, and they had a wonderful time in the community. So it ain't what we think it is. So anyway, whilst they was in the office of the Prime Minister, my name called up, and immediately the police said, oh yeah, man, you could go in this community, man, because that young guy over there, he does work in this community. He's respected in his community. See, you have to be respected. That's why I could do this plan in my particular part of the community. The rest, people are going to have to do it for themselves in their community. I'm only giving the guidance and the idea on what can happen in these communities, and it's in the Urban Design Lab, okay? We also have the Dr. King site. I'm going to talk about that a little later on the show. So 704. So anyway, the police said, yes, you could go with Valentino Brown. Everyone knows him. And now, mind you, crime is high. So I was given a call from the office of the Prime Minister. They told me if I can help them out. And I said, okay. And they told me to come by the office, and which I did. They asked me if I could help them out, if I could accompany students from the University of the Bahamas, if I could accompany students from Vienna, Austria, to come and survey and do a groundwork on how they could get the tourists to come over there. Now, mind you, this is the IDB Bank who recommend this to the government of the Bahamas. This me sitting on at the table at the IDB Bank, and I was talking to them, they feel passionate about it and they wanted to help. They, in reference, work with the Bahamas government. You hear me read it? I read it in the book in conjunction with the IDB Bank, and I was a non-paid consultant. And then I was a consultant with the Bahamas government, non-paid. And when I went there, I was given charge up to over 70, 80 people. Me and my friend Nate McKinney. Okay? And I'm talking about Yuli Vogus. I'm talking about Amanda Culston. I'm talking about Palm Burnside. Antonio Roberts. So many different people were involved who we made the stops to. So anyway, I had about 80-something people on tour for about 3 to 4 months. And from Fish Fry to Collins Wall. From Collins Wall in any city community. Mason Edition, Baintown, Grandstand. Okay? For about 3-4 months. And the University of the Bahamas student, they did a wonderful job of combining their knowledge with my knowledge and with other people's knowledge and saying that we're going to build low-cost home, we're going to build community centers, we're going to fix the streets so the tourists could come over. We need the old city market. The old city market's in it as well. So when the caller was calling last week and they said that, only Grandstand, well, the old city market is to be a mini scrawl market. And that was supposed to be developed as a second scrawl market over the hill. And that would have been a spot where the taxi drivers could park their vehicles, right? On Junkanoo night, the guests, them who have never been to Junkanoo and want to see a Junkanoo rush show, they can be allowed to come out at night, at the One Family Junkanoo group, or Mason Edition, which is just walking distance over there. And you could imagine those guests coming out, and we have stalls set up out there, along with the mini scrawl market. That could be closed at night, or still could be open, because you could have art now, and etc. And they come from over the hill, and they're there watching the One Family Junkanoo doing practice until they get to the very last practice. Saxon could do the same thing too, just as well as the fourth. And this could be a stream of revenue, and this also could bring the guests more fascinated with our culture. You understand? So we are the beginning of the tourism industry. Mason Edition, Grandstand, Baintown, and anywhere that is close proximity to Bay Street. Like I said, we're only 300 steps away from Bay Street. Okay? 300 steps from Bay Street. So anywhere and here could benefit from the tourism industry. I'm in here in the Guardian Radio, and I think as far as the College of Bahamas can benefit from the tourism industry. And I think it even scratch further. But the whole concept is that if we can find ways on how we can start a lot of small business that is directly engaged in how we can create small businesses in these inner city communities that can be tourist attraction, I think we'd see a change in how our country murder rate. I think it would slow down tremendously because now I think that persons who start to make an honest living, they'd have a sense of urgency to know that, hey, I have a future now, okay? I don't need to live in this house, round with this person here. I make up to $800, $900 a month, so I can move from here. You understand? Or if you and your boyfriend and girlfriend live in a one bedroom, You know, his girlfriend is doing nail. He is do, he could be doing construction work, but she does something in the tourism industry. She don't have to stay there no more and be in an abusive relationship. She has an honest living. She has some money in the bank account. She has a small business. You know, she could say that's enough, and she could park up, and she could go someplace where he can't find her. And he might not be too much interested in her no more because now he's also doing good for himself. So he can make better choices and decisions as well instead of getting violent. You know, a lot of people's been in a lot of relationships because they can't go because they don't have the financial means to go. But I think if they have a better income, I'm not saying that's going to change everything in the country, but I think that, you know, we could get a lot of people to leave this country, this island, go on the family island and start a new life, and that could be created of the $5+ billion industry. You know, Chester Cooper is doing it in his constituency. He is advising his constituents to take advantage of the development. Hotels getting built, roads getting built, you know, and he's telling them to build A, B, and B. Many people are going to set up their stalls, small restaurants. So the guests that goes to Chester Cooper's constituency, when they arrive to the hotels and stuff like that, they want some boiled fish. They might want to go on a jet ski ride. They might want to get a hair plait. They might want to get the fingernail polish and paint. You know, they may want to be him in souvenir. You know, they might need to go on a tour to see around the community, you know, and they might need a guide and a taxi driver. Yeah, man, there's a lot of things that could be really beneficial to the tourism industry in this country. And as far as safety, let me just go back again. Let me talk about I had about 87 students with me and about a couple of professors as well, and they're from Austria. We had one altercation. We had one altercation in the 3 months they've been working on the ground. And we went in Baintown, we went in Grandstand, we went in Mason Addition. We went as far as Porterski Dock. Okay? And we came from one end of Nassau to the next end. And I told them to say, see where all the money is spent. The fish fry, straight past Porterski Dock. I said, this is where all the money is made right up in here. And the little couple of dollars comes over there. And they say, wow. But if we could change that and get just a small percentage of that to come over the hill, right? They asked me if that changed. I say it would change things because people can make better choices, better decisions. You know, you understand? I know there's people in my heart. I'm not saying, I'm not saying this is going to stop murders, stop violent crime in the country, but it would take the effect where it would start to reduce certain things in the country. Because watch this. If you're hungry, right? If you're hungry, and all kinds of things will be running through your mind. But the minute you eat and you get full, you get relaxed, right? Mm-hmm. But when your stomach is bubbling, you know, you'd want to go and take somebody's food. But when you get something to eat, something to drink, you calm right down. So all I'm saying is this. I feel deeply that the billions of dollars being in the tourism industry is a slap to be in the Bahamian people's face because we are not benefiting from it. Only a few are benefiting from it. So I always wonder why every few months you'd see an armored truck leaving Central Bank, 2 armored truck, 2 motorbike police in the front, 2 in the back, and then probably 2 patrol cars. They just be gathering up all the American currency because they don't want the American currency in the Bahamian people's hands. So when you see those 2 motorbikes and the 2 armored truck leaving out Central Bank, how they get up their money, those businesses and stuff like that, who have these businesses and stuff like that, they put their money in the bank, and the bank transfers their money into Bahamian money, and then Canada and the U.S. wants their money, you know? That's why the Royal Bank of Canada, and then money goes to the airport and goes to Canada. And Canada and the U.S., there's some type of bargaining agreement where they get their cut because they print money. And they don't want their money going all over the world because American money was the most valuable money around, the most valued currency around that particular time. And it's still very valuable, you know. And they don't want people to take their money that they print and leave the Bahamas and go all over the world, you know, because it's dollar for dollar here. So they have some type of agreement with the businesses, and like I say, when the money comes, when the U.S. money comes back in the bank, they send it out of the country. And that money could have been in the hands of Bahamians, you know. So if we just could get that $5 billion, that $5 billion that was created last year, 2023, if we could just get anywhere $1 billion to come over the hill, and that would just trickle down, it would change so many things in our country. You know, we won't need all this feeding program that is going on in the country. You know, people could start to take care of themselves. You know, I see it. I see it back in the early 70s, 80s, and stuff like that. How the tourists would just come around and stop. You know, we also have to teach them about sand dollar and digital money. So that's a program we're bringing in the community as well. Educate the residents that I'm talking to, and we're going to start a few small businesses in the community. You know, I'm going to talk to them about sand dollar, cryptocurrency, you know, and see how, because you know you're going to have to know about Visa and check cards and stuff like that. Because in some of the business that's going to be established in the inner city community, especially my restaurant, I'm going to have to have access to those type of equipment. You know, because I'm opening a Bahamian restaurant, native Bahamian restaurant, seafood restaurant. Because, and around that, I'm starting a lot of small businesses for other people in the area. So I'm going to have some guys selling the coconut water and gin. One is going to have this griddle. Al Kanzi is then starting this fish fry on H Street. Okay. And then we're setting up down the road by Mr. Bunzer place again, talking to Urban Newell about utilizing the porch after we have prepared the house. And the front part of the porch is an old porch from way back in the 60s, but it's a beautiful place to set up some nice hair braiding stalls along with a barber, because the tourist also likes to come in the community and be pampered, so we want to provide that for them as well. And to provide a safe zone, we're going to make sure monitor it. So all this is in one particular area. So when the caller last, we talked about safety. This is one of the solutions that we came up with in the community. And also, like I said, we also want to have girls there who could braid hair, nail polish. We're going to have the barbers there. And then some people might even want to do a little massage, you know. We could probably set up a little outside door massage where the guests could also come and get rub down some nice coconut oil and nice massage. And all these things we can provide in the inner city community. So with the small businesses like the coconut stalls, the hair braiding, the small barbers outside, the little convenience store, the restaurant, helping the tourists come in the area. Also, we have a lot of tourist attraction as well. And to add some tourist attraction onto it, working with Mr. Ed Dorset from East Street Gospel Chapel Church, along with Yuli Wogus and Amanda Colston. At that time, she was director of the National Gallery. They wanted to help develop the community and also to provide tourist attraction. So we came up with the idea of the Wall of Respect, which is the idea of Mr. Dorset, Ed Dorset. And my partners, Yuli and Amanda, through their creativity, and they wanted to support. They've been supporting me ever since. We came up with the Wall of Respect, and on it you could see Dr. Martin Luther King, you know, and et cetera. And that's a tourist attraction, so a lot of pictures to be taken on that wall. So that's one of the attractions, okay? Down further, also for tourist attraction, we have the Dr. Martin Luther King site that I got the information from Mr. Panza. He passed away, and I gave the information on to the late, great Dr. Rita Pratt. Ensuring respect to her, we was able to accomplish the Dr. Martin Luther King's Jr. first visit here to the Bahamas, and did his civil rights work right here in the Bahamas. And he stayed in Lewis Creek for 3 days. And the thing about it is, history is be a lie. Dr. King first visit to the Bahamas was in Grandstand, okay, 1958. Dr. King stayed 3 days through Lewis Creek, okay, Mr. Basasan's house. He came to go to Sir Randall Fox home, which they lived around Glinton Square. And all this is on Lewis Creek. And this information was given to me from Mr. Panza, and I was able to give it to the late, great Dr. Rita Pratt. Both of them passed away, and now I'm going to keep it alive. And this is going to be a tourist attraction for the guests when they come in our community. The sign is already up, and I'm working with some people to see if we can turn it into a museum. And all of this is to bring tourists in our community so that we could have customers and we could create a revenue stream off the customers. But we need attractions, and we have that in Lewis Creek. And we have the churches, and we continue to develop. So we're developing small business spots in the community. We also have a garden that we're creating to grow authentic Bahamian vegetables, because I'm opening a restaurant and we want to make sure that we have some natural fruits and vegetables. So this is all business, okay? So this book, what I talked about, the Urban Design Lab, this was done on behalf of the Bahamas government to empower the residents of the inner city community. This is a pilot project. This project here, unfortunately, didn't continue, but I'm continuing it in my community. I'm not rich, I'm a poor man, but I use my connection. And I'm continuing this project. I'm continuing this pilot project right there in Grandstand. Okay? This year, we'll switch over from the Urban Design Lab to the Overdale Initiative. See, when governments come and governments go, ideas change. And then we had a new prime minister. He said it was his bread, blah, blah, blah. Create the free tax zone, talk about the Overdale Initiative, talk about the plans. All those plans came from the Urban Design Lab that was done in 2013 and was operational in 2016 by a lot of great people in the country. Like I said, University of the Bahamas, Palm Boeing Yuli Vogus, Amanda Coulson, myself, officers of the Prime Minister. And if we want to see changes in the country, we need plans that is going to be effective. And this plan is a great plan. And me, listen to Chester Cooper, I like to say to them, take a look back at 2013 at the Urban Design Lab. It's a perfect plan. All it takes now, it ain't all what it takes. It's happening in Grandstand. The Dr. King site is there. My restaurant is there. A few small businesses are going to be established before the end. We're going to have 10 small businesses set up around that area just to accommodate tourists. We are building the gate now down by Marv to be the gateway that when they come in the Old City Market yard, we have a gate set up for safety precaution, and we're going to have cameras all along that vicinity where the guest is going to be frequent to make sure that we have the proper camera system in place, that if anything happens out of that, I don't know, that happens out of the, I don't know, oh shoot, I was stuttering, excuse me. If anything happens out of the blue, we would have the footage. We also working together as a team because we're not going to allow no one to come in there and cause any disruption in that vicinity, because the business persons who get these business license and have their business set up, they're going to protect what they have. And we're going to work together to make sure that we keep the corner clean on a regular basis and to make sure that the guests are treated fairly, honest. No one's going to be allowed to take advantage, because we're going to teach you the importance of the bread and butter. And that if you mess up, it is on all of us. Okay? We're going to also remind them that guest comes over. It's business, not pleasure. You understand? If you want it to be pleasure, you're going to have to do that in your own time. But as long as it's 5 o'clock, from 7 to 5, it's strictly business. And then we have to make sure that they get back over the hill safely, which the corridor is set up perfectly for them to go over the hill. Because we have Market Street, we have East Street, we have Blue Hill Road, and all of this is in walking distance. And what we're going to do is also have security guys who are going to be patrolling the streets around that time from early morning, and they know everyone in the community. They're going to have access to police control because they're going to be working with the urban renewal. They're going to have the heritage rangers identification, and their job is to make sure that the tourist has the right information and direction to make sure they don't get lost, and to make sure that there's no obstruction of any vehicles that will be parked on the side of the streets, and to make sure that we don't have no one who is not of that community, but someone who looking to probably prey on an individual. Where low security who are from the community will be responsible for the protection of that community. So some of these guys who you see who are bad and they can't leave the community, they could be the solution to protect the community as well. You know, they get a nice salary, put them to classes, teach them about the security way, teach them about hospitality, get them a good salary. You know, they're in their respective community, and you teach them what they need to do, and to be honest, and to make sure always protect the guests that comes in our community at all times. And we make sure have direct contact with Central Police Station, and then the officers who are from that community, like Quentin Brennan, Inspector Marco Cordet, Mark Barrett, you know, ASP Mark Barrett, you know, he lives around the corner too in Grandstand. Those officers, we'd have them involved, you know, in the daily activities, you know, of roaming the streets, you know, and having close affiliation with everyone in the community and finding out if there's any problem in the community, you know, so that they'd be around in that vicinity. And, you know, we'd have incentive for them as well. You know, they might get lunch, and et cetera. Taxi drivers who coming over the hill, you know, and bring the tourists over there, they could get lunch, or if they bring 4 or 5 guests, you know, they could get cut. You know, they come to the restaurant, they go to the bar, they bring like 5 guests, you know, they could get one at $5, $10, or they could get 2 bears, or you get free lunch or something like that, you know, give the taxi drivers incentive as well for bringing them over. But yes, this can happen, you know, and this can change the directory of our country. And like I said, with Dr. King, that's how the father's work. Yeah, he stayed 3 days to Lewis Street. This is all documented. In fact, the U.S. Embassy, back in 2013, along with the Bahamas government and Antiquities and Monuments, made it a historical site to Lewis Street. So I'm in talks now with the powers to be to see how we could turn that into a museum. Randall Fox, and all the history of Sir Randall Fox, and Dr. King in it, along with other great Bahamians who have contributed to the development of the country, who resided in that community over the years. Okay, we got a call on the line. Good night, caller. You're on Inside in the City. Go ahead.
I'm pleasure to hear this, Scrooge.
Good evening. Good evening. You can turn your radio just down just a little bit.
I can hardly hear you.
Okay, let me see if you can hear me now.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
So you getting ready to open the restaurant?
Yeah, in a short order.
Huh?
In a short order.
Yeah, you told me you was opening up in September or August. I mean, October, eh?
Yeah, I'm almost finished. They're just trying to get one, little 3-4 more small businesses started with some people in the area so that they don't get left out, so we can make this a success.
Well, you know, I promise you I can hear you again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I was just joking there. Somebody taking me to the food store because my legs bad. I just crack a joke and say, Scrooge sound a little like he ain't got no friends today. Nobody calling in. Let me call in.
No, people listening because this is the plan for the country that has already been established, and I'm just taking it to the next level. Go ahead, sir.
But Scrooge, on a more serious note, when I hear you talking about all the protection you plan to put in place at your place of business,
Yes, sir.
all the cameras and all them kind of things, and then I think back of the days when we were growing up as youngsters, not in your time, because you grew up in a rough time.
Yes, sir.
You know, we never used to hear that to go someplace in the evening to a restaurant, you got to have all that police protection and cameras. And
No. That's not for that. That's not for that. That's not for that.
I hear you.
No, that's not for that. That's not for that. When you talking about you need all that to go to the restaurant, no, that's not for that. That's just a safety precaution. Just in case someone drive past in the car, accident, or something happens on the street, we want to have to make sure that we in coordinates with the police and the community so that we have and can deal with our problems in our community.
Yeah, but okay, but I don't want to be, not intended to be anything. But
No.
I'm saying I'm on the East-West Highway up by the police department going west.
Yes, sir.
On the East Street, and your volume to me is rather low. So before
Okay.
it sounds distorted, I just want to say I wish you luck in your venture. As usual, use my brethren.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And not only that, but let's pray for this holiday weekend and thing coming up on August Monday and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
We don't go through no bunch of foolishness
Yeah.
with young men laying on the ground in puddles of blood.
Yes, sir.
Let's pray for our country because Scrooge, something has to be done.
Yeah,
This is out of whack.
Yes. Yes.
This is too far out of whack. This never happened in your time, never happened in my time. Something has to be done.
Neglect us.
I have not only that, Scrooge, I have never heard of the word corruption so much in my entire life.
See?
When they start to involve government officials, police departments, immigration, all this kind of thing. I've never heard this before in my life.
See, because everyone was hiding it and putting the blame on all the bad guys, putting the blame on us. That time you see where all the wickedness in high places in the Bible tell you these things, but we were so fooled to listen to these people talking all this fool and talking so like this and say.
Scrooge, also I can go back. I ain't none of them fellas who could quote all the scriptures from Genesis to Revelation, but I think I remember somewhere in the Bible where it says, man will get so wise that he can eventually destroy himself,
That's right.
And that's what we're doing right now.
Yes.
We destroying ourselves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Have a good day, man. Wish you luck.
Thank you very much. Yes. And that's why when you hear no one to police. When you hear that, no one to police. Yeah, no one to police. But what about when the police do all this crime? We had a police who the other day, who I knew personally, and I ain't want to ever jeopardize his job, but it happened. Right? Big time inspector. Huh? Charge the people money with the car. Huh? And then, he on half pay now. And then they had to call him to bring back the people's money. He's going to keep the money. That's robbery. And these things, but no one to police. But what happened, then your politicians can charge for all kind of serious allegations. But you know something? They always to point the finger at the bad guys and point the finger at Foxhill. And we is the bad guy. Everyone's the bad guy who going getting paraded. And what we used to call it now, Bank Lane. And then you're going to the ride at 5. Okay? We always to point the finger at all the bad guys, all this killing. But you see, what you do in the dark comes out in the light. And this corruption is because political parties are being protecting individuals over the course of the last 50 years. Same thing with the Royal Bahamas Police Force and Defense Force. They've been attacking their colleagues. And it's gotten so bad that they made mistakes. You understand? And they always point the finger at the guys in Bank Lane. But you see, but look at it now. When you listen, police involved in all this stuff. MPs talking all this stuff. Bribery, most $1 million, the people's treasury money, people starving, people elect, people vote, they elect you to make things better. I asked them going to run SD. Huh? Use that person again to give their sweetheart $80,000, $100,000, $150,000 contract. Huh? At time, you could help a couple hundred people with the money you're giving out to one person, or what you're receiving with the government contract, which is the people money. You know, it's crazy. Huh? Now, who is the bad guys in the country now? All mess right up. So the only thing I could say, and what I feel could make a change, is the plan that was already put forward. I feel this could be a big change. I mean, let's tell you real quick. Donnie Johnson, former minister, I think he was a youth, sports and culture. He was living on the Fort Hill, and we had the same discussion on the show. He was present, and we talked about the Fort Hill. And Donnie Johnson used his position as a minister to go and redevelop Fort Finn Castle. And not only that, we talked about, Nate and myself talked about pictures getting put up by the sports center of athletes in the past. You see the pictures up, right? We make some good recommendations and we make changes happen in the country. Donnie Johnson, did that as well. And he sent me all this information. He said, that's your work, Scrooge. He gave me a book. He said, that's your work. And then he went up there and he was a position as a minister. And he built some stalls out there and he opened the fort. Now I see they're going to repair the fort water tower so that the guests start to use the water tower again. But when I listened, it was estimated that they was making over $1 million by the fort when Mr. Johnson helped build those stalls and reopen up the fort. Okay, so it can work. Then Yuli Wogus, when he was working with his wife at the National Art Gallery, we were doing a walkabout with some artists from Antonio Roberts, who also I was in charge of. I forget, we had artists along with Antonio Roberts as well. I had about 60 artists from Antonio Roberts. And I took them on a tour as well. And they also participated in the Urban Design Lab. Yeah, and then Yuli asked, and I say, man, this is a perfect place now to renovate all these old houses from Great Cliff come down. And then when I listened, Yuli had a discussion with the owners. Look what is happening right now through Great Cliff Corner, across from Government House. Through that corner now, it's a tourist attraction, Great Cliff. And through the whole corner now, it's a tourist attraction, straight to around the bend from the National Gallery, as far as the Junkanoo Shack, head down to Meadens Creek. Watkins and all has become a tourist attraction. The graveyard has become a tourist attraction. And they have a tea place further down the road from Watkins. They sell different organic teas and they sell those. So up in there, it's turning into a tourist attraction. If we get them to come over a little further, man, we'd be in good position. And I just saying this to the general public. Listen, $5 billion. We're going to take this next call. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside the Inner City.
Yeah, give thanks and praises.
Bless up, brother.
Yeah, Sparky moved me just now. You know it goes, so I was prompted to call in.
Yes, sir.
Just thought I'd shed some light or insight, right? Because a lot of people was trying to figure out what we're talking about all these years, right? Some things I've experienced, you have experienced. We can't say on the radio, right?
Yeah.
So within our psyche, there's nothing much. I mean, you haven't seen
Not on the streets.
as far as even corruption, right?
Yeah.
But, truth be told, lo and behold, now, I just want to debunk this. All right, obviously, right? We have good officers, we have bad officers, right?
Yes, sir.
So I got in a little class with Cassius Stewart one time on Steve McKinney's show and told him that he was a part of the problem for saying a few bad apples and continuing that narrative, right? But if an apple knows of another apple and it's rotten, right?
Yes, sir.
And you can see it, and then you uphold this blue wall of silence, even if you saw violence, right?
Yes, sir.
You maintain your silence. So
Yes.
silence, they say, is consent.
Yeah.
So silence by participation also, right? So,
Yeah.
let's get a little bit of philosophy here, because I'm sick and tired of the few bad officers now. You have good officers, my friends, our friends, right? And then you have rogues. That's just natural, right?
Yeah.
But put mechanisms in place. So now the problem what I have is the fact that when I was always saying over the years, you might have heard me say that the reciprocity stinks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's because it's a one-way paradigm for the public,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to John Law, there's no flaw.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens now is you're asking the public to pick up the phone and squeal, right?
Uh-huh.
And give information on one another.
Uh-huh.
But you don't have a mechanism within your organization where
but
police
that's how?
officers can give information on things they see.
Uh-huh.
Not about an officer drinking or doing what he's doing on the job or whatever. Because, I've seen these things. And so some concerns reached to me, too, as recently after this situation you spoke with a little while back with the officer at the Nassau Street shooting, right?
Yes, sir.
Who had the gun that he wasn't supposed to have.
Yes, sir.
So we've seen a proliferation of officers with guns they weren't supposed to have. So
Where they take off people illegally and they keep for
it could
themselves.
but they could buy them legitimately, too.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
could
reason
buy 'em
why
too.
there's guns on the road.
Yes.
Anyone have connection. You saw, I don't know, I wonder why I didn't hit the news. I saw something where a Bohemian vessel, a luxury yacht, was caught in Jamaica. I can't remember which part, but I have somebody posted it to me by the guy who's working me in the postie shop in Jamaica. He posted it. There's a Bohemian yacht down there with a Bohemian cap. You forget a Bohemian captain, two Bohemian.
I think I glimpsed a piece of it, yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but it was a cache of guns. And they was down there. I don't know what the reciprocity was down there, but what I'm saying is put mechanisms in place for officers to really disclose nefarious activity if they feel so incognito, because you're asking the public to endanger themselves by giving information on people, but then you're not willing to uphold this within your organization. So
Yes,
for
sir.
me, as a dummy like me, that's counterintuitive and it's unfair.
Yep. And dangerous.
So the apples will rotten.
Yep.
And then the fact that people have lost their lives here and there. I gave a little chronology about Bradley Taylor and Dwight Strong this morning, but that's actually about 28, 29 years ago, because I was working at Wyndham at the time.
Okay.
At this age, sometimes you just get the law, but that's what it's all about. But some
Okay.
things I was told and then I end up seeing subsequently. So I personally always would respect the police, but how fair of their power and the cover-up tactics that they use.
Yeah.
We've even seen, someone told me this morning that they caught some guy, I didn't even know, it was with a quarter pound of weed. And way. I could probably talk you up there, but what I'm saying is the fact that they still want to send persons to jail for a quarter pound of weed if it's not bagged up, right? Maybe you should just go to court and pay a fine that is probably significant. But you don't gain anything of that when you have decided to
Collect them to you as soon as you finish.
medicinal. You haven't decided on recreation, but it's not the person with marijuana is not the criminal here.
No. The
As you
person
can see,
exporting
right?
it.
Yeah. So this one-way paradigm is destroying us.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's just the way I see it.
Yeah.
I just thought the few bad apples is all over the tree now, and so
Yeah, all over the tree now.
mechanisms in place for them to really, because some officers are not really in tune with what they see. They don't like what they see. But
No,
also,
they can't do nothing because they life in
there's
jeopardy
coming
too.
in, there's a lot of them off-duty having guns on them too.
Yeah.
But I guess I thought back in the days only a sergeant was allowed to carry guns.
That's right, inspector.
So yeah, but the thing is, and they get catch with them here and there, and even if they're in a drunken stupor, that's very.
Friending and lock them up.
that's very-
It's rare to get locked up with it, even though it's illegal gun. They ain't supposed to be carrying it.
But that's what I'm saying. But I mean, if they have something going on, but I mean, some of them, according to their reputation, should be allowed to carry guns.
Yeah, inspectors, ASP, and certain police
Some
officers.
of the guys who younger than that.
Yeah,
should
they
be allowed
can,
to
they
carry
can,
them,
they
but
can.
Once they're proven themselves. themselves.
Yeah, once
But
they
to
know
say-
you're in a menace to society, you have to you pass the
and
rules
your
and
background
regulation.
and where you
Yep,
from. You can't
yep.
just say you because you're a cop.
You won't go cover
You
gun
could have a gun and you could go in the club and get drunk and whatever. This
and
is
kill
like
and kill a fellow Bahamian
without
or harm a fellow
without
Bahamian.
repercussions.
Yes.
And so, the license to kill, nothing surprised me still.
Yeah.
Give thanks, yeah, man.
All right. Thank you very much. Make some good comments. We're gonna take this next call. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside in the City on Guardian Radio. Go ahead. Sorry for taking so long.
All right, no problem, man. Same sentiments with the previous caller and Sparky was saying, man, because, like I say, we feel this long time, man.
Yeah.
Understand? We didn't know about this long time, but now with the social media thing and all that, it's coming out now.
Yep.
You feel me? So brave them and the Prime Minister them need to do something. Minister of National Security or whatever. He was a former
Attorney.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know where he is. His loyalty lies. It's behemoth or money.
Well,
You understand what I said? But they need to do something, man.
Yeah.
They ain't saying nothing.
yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Let's look around the world and see what's going on around the world and think that can't happen in the Bahamas. You understand what I say? With people rising up because they tired.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because
Yes.
we ain't fight. Like I say, we ain't fight for nothing. We ain't never fight for nothing. You understand what I say? But we have to fight for our country, man.
Yeah.
Too much corruption been going on from the top straight to the bottom.
Yeah.
You understand what I
Yes,
said?
sir.
And all of this showing that it's there, man. It's there. You understand? No one saying nothing, man. All these radio shows that they no one let you talk and say what's going on. Ain't none of these by them on the road, but you understand what I
Yes,
said?
sir.
None of these guys them on the road. I is a professional worker. I is a manager at my company.
Yes, sir.
But I come from the road. You understand what I said? I talk to my road people every day. And I still be in my community and things.
Yes, sir.
These guys is grow up and leave their community. You understand? They don't check for their community no more. All these politicians and things. Wherever area they grow up in, they don't be in them areas no more. They don't feel the people passion and feel the people pain, man. You understand? I tired of this, man. I getting tired of this now, man.
Yes, sir.
Tired. This our country, man. This the most beautiful small country in the world. Everyone is come here.
Yep.
We got to take care of this, man.
Every movie they talk about the Bahamas, man.
Every movie, the
Every
Bahamas,
movie they talk about the Bahamas.
every movie. And you all coming around here breaking this country up, man. You understand? Every politician who come in there who's supposed to fix this country, only selfish and thing, man. You understand? I tired of this, man. How my children, I got 3 girls, how my children supposed to grow up in this country now and be successful and try to get what's really coming for them as a Bahamian, man.
Yeah.
Because all you all check for is your whole family and things. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
This got to change, man. This got to change, man.
Opportunities got to be able to for your daughters and everyone else. You know,
Exactly, man.
yeah,
Opportunities got to be there for everyone. I got lone friends and foreign and thing right now. Can't come home because people telling them, oh, you too overqualified for job. In what world you too overqualified? Just put them in there.
Yeah, and let them do their job.
And increase, you know what I mean?
Increase.
Let them level up, man.
Yep.
Put them at the ground level and let them level up. Everyone want a job.
Yep.
You feel me? Don't flicking get nobody no job because they in the PLP or F&M or nothing like that, man.
That's what's been killing us.
Don't do that, man. Give people a job who are prepared.
Who qualified?
And willing to work for
Right.
their jobs, man.
Right. For all Bahamians. Yes, sir.
All Bahamians.
All
man.
Bahamians.
Stop this foolishness now, man.
That's why so much
We tired
corruption.
of this now, man. This
Yeah.
is the same grandparents and things. I always tell my mommy and my Grammy, them dead, my granddad, them dead now. I used to tell them all the time, you all cost this, man. You all lotion these man, them and things. He's bleed just like us.
Yep.
Red blood.
And they
Just like us. Stop lotioning these people. Because they're human beings just like us.
that's what we get.
We put them there.
That's what we get when we put people over us, and they use it for their benefit. They believe that we
Exactly.
are the stepping stones now.
Exactly.
You see, we give them the power.
When they say, oh, we need a king. We
We give them the power. We give
You
them the
understand?
power. We give them the power, and when we give them the
power
power,
when they're abusing us, man.
that's right. They trample on
They're
us.
abusing us.
Yes, sir. They use us for road.
Exactly. I can't even pave the road good. I'm using us for road. You understand what I say? Thank God, give thanks, and bless the item.
Yes, sir.
This show is a great show, man.
And you do a wonderful job when you call it, man. I like for people to speak their minds on the show, and that's what we have inside in the city, because you want to hear the people's frustration, you want to hear their passion. And let me comment on this, Many people are saying the same thing right now. Why is the prime minister going to speak on these things when we feel that the voice note is authentic? Well, it goes like this, beaming people. Why is the Minister of National Security not speaking on this? Well, the Minister of National Security did speak on it. He did say that he feels fully that the police can investigate themselves. Now, when he was in opposition a few years ago, he said in his own mouth that he don't feel that the police is trustworthy to investigate themselves when he was in opposition. Now that he is the Minister of National Security, he take on a bigger role where he can offend those who are doing wrong. But he would say things about the guys who getting killed on the streets. But he cannot and he will not speak against rogue cops because it comes down to him not disrupting the system. Even if it's the right thing to do. That's why we're in the position we're in now in this country. Because if you want to do something right, but because of the position you have, or part of government that you sign on to, you would offend the police and they would not vote for you. You understand? Or you go mess up the system, speaking out as the Minister of National Security when you have rogue cops who violate the laws. In fact, they treason against the Bahamian people because they use the badge and they use it for their benefit. They abuse it. They use it as a way of protection. And yet still, the Minister of National Security will defend it. Even the Prime Minister himself will defend them. Because at the end of the day, they don't want to agitate the Royal Bahamas Police Force because that's the organization. And like Carla stated before, all Bahamians, what is going to be left for his daughter? You understand? Because they're only taking care of their family, their friends, and how we say lovers. That's cycle, right? That's cycle. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, you know. We're gonna take this last call. Caller, we got a few more minutes, so go ahead, caller. You're on Inside in the City on Guardian Radio.
It's me again. I had to call back again.
Go ahead, caller.
Listen, buddy. This is a serious situation we living in the Bahamas right now. Understand? All us, me, you, like-minded people like us, understand me to do something. You feel me?
Yes,
I don't know. You could probably give me something we could do.
Mm-hmm.
Something needs to be done.
Yeah.
Politicians don't listen to us because they know Bahamians ain't serious.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? They do whatever they want to do because they know we ain't serious.
Yeah.
You talk about these topics for a couple of days.
And let go there.
You understand? I said, and it's disappear. You understand? Over the next newest period or whatever.
You think this one could disappear?
They could disappear.
That's
what they hoping they can do.
Because because they know it's true. So they saying no penalty can come with this because he's a senior cop and then they take away his pension, but he's protected. So this will ruffle a lot of feathers. This will ruffle a lot of feathers. Yeah, it's gonna ruffle a lot of feathers.
Listen to me, man. Listen.
So
poor guys, how much guys them robbed that armor truck?
They say but 3 or 4.
3 or 4, all them dead.
All them dead?
All them dead.
What you trying to insinuate, or what the newspaper trying to insinuate?
All of them dead because these same police killed them.
Oh Lord!
You understand what I'm saying? That's what happened. So everybody know what's going on.
So that's what you believe out there now.
That's what they're.
I hear.
We on the road. I ain't gonna lie, your boy, who I think he's the manager or whatever, the director or whatever, the company. I think it's not Howard. The one who's talking early in the morning.
Mr. General Manager Dwight Scron.
Dwight ain't no street nigga, man. Dwight's an educated, smart, educated man. He know the educated people, but we know the streets.
Mm-hmm.
We hear what's going on in the street.
Yeah, that's the street talk.
So we know what's going on in this country.
We don't have no evidence, but we just...
No.
Yeah, we don't have no evidence.
We keep our ass and towards what's actually happening in the Bahamas.
Yes, sir.
You understand? I got 2 police boys,
and there's some discussion too. There's some discussion. There's some discussion inside because they shock too and they talk about some stuff going on. And
and they are good men.
Yeah, good officers.
Good officers,
Yes.
great men, great family men, great officers.
Yes, sir.
And they tired of this too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they can't do nothing about it because
They
you know
can-
when you're in the police force and whatever,
You could get bumped
you
off
got to
too.
be your brother's keeper.
Yeah. That's a
You
maternity.
can't tell on them.
That's a maternity. I know. We know this things.
The
Yes.
biggest gang in the Bahamas,
Yes.
the
Yes.
police force. They can't
Yes.
tell on each other, man.
Yeah.
Whatever happens until somebody else
Yeah.
say something, and then it comes out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're protected. They're just a maternity.
So
the Lodge too.
politicians-
The Lodge too.
Oh man, I was in the Lord. I was a part of the Lord. I had to tell them I ain't no lotion. I can't go no man master.
All right then, brother.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
I a different breed.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All my family, them and things, uncles, all in the Lodge.
Yes, sir.
I can't follow that path. 'Cause I
Yeah.
got one master. That's God.
That's right. You can't
That's
serve two
right, yeah.
masters. Yes, sir.
All right then. I can't have two masters.
Yes, sir.
And I ain't calling no one no master.
Yes. You take
You
you,
feel me?
you give them power and then you lose yourself.
Exactly. So all of them and these things and these affiliated and these things and all that whatever, you're all men just like us, man.
Yep.
You're bleed, racy and red blood of us.
Yep. Don't believe it's so high and mighty and then use
Stop
that.
standing on your high horse
Yep.
and realize everyone got to go to heaven or hell too.
Yeah.
And whatever you all dealing with,
Yes,
you all
sir.
choosing, you all going to talk for yourself. You know, go before God.
Mm-hmm.
And he can be the judge, jury, and executioner for all of yours. So I hope you all doing the right thing.
Yes, sir.
And not just for your all family and helping your all family and these people who just giving you all money and things and all this foolishness.
Yes. Thank you.
Everyone is beaming in this country.
That's right.
Other than the person who come here illegally.
That's right.
Who got passport, I know they illegal, some illegals got passport too, but majority of people who got passport, they say, but 95% is beaming.
Yes, sir.
You understand? It's
All right.
our country.
Yes, sir.
We gonna fight for this. And we ain't gonna allow them to do the same things they doing over and over and over
Yeah.
again. Because we got children too.
Yes,
We want
sir.
our children grow up in this beautiful land
Yes,
and
sir.
have something for themselves.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Stop
Thanks.
this foolishness, man. These politicians go there, want your vote. That's the only time you talk to them.
Yes, sir.
When they want your vote, get in, and then they talking foolishness.
Yes, sir.
They don't need you no more.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, man.
This time
Thanks.
is now, man. This ain't the whole pill in the age where you always talk to a bunch of dumb people, you know.
Yes, sir.
People educated now, man.
All right, then. Only get a couple
Very
more minutes.
well educated.
Thank you very much, man. Make some good comments. Let me read this. My friend sent this last week. He's talking about something. He said, best be this from last week. He said, greatest the biggest problem, greatest destroying the police force, and also many other entities and organizations all over the Bahamas. Listen, police force of the Royal Bahamas Force is deemed a high risk. Police officers get paid more than government workers. Even the low-ranking entry-level police officers even get paid way more. Regular government workers with associates and bachelor's degree. Pause, think about this for a moment. Police are paid more than most government workers. The thing is, some police officers, just like other Bahamians out there in the public, are just plain greedy, just too greedy. And they says, yeah, big brother Scrooge, you want to see the whole Bahamas change, transform for better. Just let them listen to what you, Scoochie, and Big Brother Mark Twain-Crest. Mark Twain-Crest is the big business, small business association who always talk about it. Having been preaching about talking about many years, working to empower everyone with small business and our business opportunities where people can earn an income or extra income honestly. Then folks won't have to carry on with so much crime and corruption. Okay? And then they says, yeah, y'all call me an enforcing the law, no matter who it is. He pulled over his deputy commissioner or deputy and ticketed him. And notice how the big boss took it with a smile. He never seek to stop or prevent his employee, his junior officer, from enforcing the law. He never said, hey, you know who I is. What you dealing with? I am your deputy commissioner or your deputy chief of police. I don't think this would ever happen in the Bahamas. Yes, that's true, you know. And we have to be able to stand up for what's wrong. And for those who break the tradition of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, they need to put before a tribunal, and they need to be put before the Bahamian people after the results is being shown to show that there's transparency and to build trust again with the Bahamian people in the country. And we get You completely out of time, eh? Call you might get in quick. Quick. You can make it quick. Call out if you could.
Hey, Scrooge.
Hey.
Sparky here. Sorry to call back.
Yeah, you only get about a minute. Make it quick.
I just turned around on the roundabout at the airport headed back east.
Yes, sir.
Listen to me, Scrooge.
Hey.
I reached the point in my age at 73
Yes, sir.
where I ain't taking no secrets to the grave like my husband wrote say.
Yes, sir.
Don't carry no secrets to the grave.
Yes, sir.
Because let me tell you something, that's good. I
Yes,
see
sir.
these people around here talking. At 25 years old, I was a 32nd degree Supreme Prince of the Royal Secret Prince All Lords before all the brave and them and Sandy Sanscom ever joined the Lords.
So you're 33 now, eh?
Hello?
Yeah,
Can
go
you
ahead.
hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, real quick.
Let me tell you something. Jesus left his parents at 12 years old.
Yes, sir.
Jesus traveled the east and all over India and all over the world.
Yes, sir.
And he came back home after he learned all kind of things from all kind of different religions.
Yes, that's true,
And
that's
different
true.
people around the world, India, China, and
Yes.
all over the place.
Yes.
He came back at 30 years old to be baptized by his cousin John the Baptist.
Yes, sir.
When he was baptized, he spent his ministry, which only lasted 3 years, and Jesus was dead at 33.
Yes.
Listen to the history.
That's why
You
30.
talk about him as a Christian nation, but you don't know nothing about Christianity.
Yes, sir.
Jesus was dead at 33.
And that's why they say 33 degree
And he was
Mason, eh?
telling everybody but what he learned from all the different religions
Yes.
that he visited.
I'm completely out of time, Sparky. You got to make it quick. I'm going to
And
cut you
let
off.
me tell you something, Scrooge.
You got to talk like
Just
I'm over the
take
time.
time
I'm over the
now.
time. Go ahead.
When you know what you're doing before you go to the grave, speak it now and don't keep it in your chest.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sparky. Yes, that's what happened on Minister of National Security, and they don't want to speak out because of politics, and it goes deep. But if we don't fight against what's wrong and people who lost the power to be able to persecute those who break the law, what message you're sending to us being humans? So we need the Minister of National Security. We need the Prime Minister to speak on behalf of the Bahamian people to assure us that something is being done, because far as we're concerned, everyone's saying this is a hush up. The voice note is real. And what is the commissioner going to say? What is Wayne Monroe going to say? They can't speak out against these things. We're waiting on Scotland Yard, and no one is saying that they are not going to allow Scotland Yard to come in. So we're waiting to see. So in the next week, we're looking up some type of answers. And what is the next step? But like I said, that's the plan about the tourism ministry for Mason Edition, Grandstand, Bainton, and then it trickle down. And I think that's the way out for us if we want to have a better living and to create a lot of small businesses in the country. I'm Valentino Brand, host of the talk show Inside in the City that premieres every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. on Guiding Radio 96.9. Have a wonderful night and enjoy yourself. See you next week if God spare life.
They see a young thing, the lion sleeping.